In today's episode, Network Nightmare. The heavens themselves decree, no internet for you. Log off means power done. It was like that out of the box. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Network Nightmare. So I work for an IT company that does the Tier 1 support for other companies. We handle a variety of clients in different fields from manufacturing cranes to hospitals. Now I've been the lead guy on nights for a good long time, and exactly one time in the last 6 years I had to join in on what was called an IRT call for a hospital system. Not sure what IRT stands for, probably like Instant Response Team. Now these calls happen all the time when there is a major outage of any kind, and when you are dealing with a hospital system, things have to get fixed fast. Usually what happens is I get notified that an IRT call is about to start, and I call my boss, and he comes and joins the call so I can stay on the phone. So here is what happened. We started getting calls about computers not connecting the network across like 5 hospitals, which is a pretty big deal when dealing with hospitals. A lot of stuff like test results just get updated to charts, but now an already understaffed and overworked hospital needs to spare people to run around a hospital gathering information from other departments. So I call our network on call, who decides to start an IRT. I try calling my boss, the other boss, their boss's boss. No one is answering my phone calls, but we need a representative on the IRT, which defaults to me. So I get on a call with a bunch of department heads, the company's CIO, other bigwigs that can demand I get fired if they so choose, and it's like 3 a.m., so none of them are in a particularly good mood. So basically it was my job to relay instructions to the service desk and relay any relevant information onto the call. So the first thing that we figure out is that it's only wireless devices that won't connect. All wired computers are working just fine. It takes about an hour, but we figured out that the main cause of this issue is that someone had checked out a set of credentials from a vault without permission and created a change to the group policy that accidentally removed permission for access to Wi-Fi. So they had to find some way to get people on site and connect them long enough to force a update on every wireless device across 5 hospitals spread across multiple counties, on top of doctors' offices, pharmacies, warehouses. The list goes on. Somebody definitely got fired for that one. Fortunately, it wasn't me. The heavens themselves decree, no internet for you. So, on mobile and first time submitting here, I think, maybe I did back in 2014 or so. Obviously there shouldn't be any information here that's against the rules, but it is a unique situation, so if someone recognizes this from a certain company, please shhhh. I used to do level 1 tech support for an ISP. Now, this wasn't what we know level 1 to be in our current day. This was somewhere between levels 2 and 3. We were empowered to go off script, make our own judgment calls, and even look for extremely odd solutions, so long as we didn't troubleshoot anything directly outside our product. We couldn't set up a new computer from scratch, but we could help configure your browser and get your email client connected to our web server. It was paradise until they tried to be more like bigger sh*TTY cable ISP. No, not that one. The other one. I only say this because I'd never have started on the backside if I was following a standard script. May not even have gotten to the fun bit at all. I had a no internet call come in from someone after a rather large storm, so I was already primed to troubleshoot modem and outside the house connectivity issues. Sure enough, no internet on any devices. Let's check on that modem. User, oh, that's out in the shed, hang on. Ah, of course, I thought. Must be some water damage, leaked in from the storm dash. User, well, I'll be. There's a hole in my roof. I clarified that there was indeed a hole in his roof, a rather large one. He also claimed that there was a big rock sitting directly where his modem was. In the wreckage of the modem. On further questioning, the rock wasn't actually that big, about the size of a golf ball, maybe less. Still, the modem, the table it was on, and the roof were destroyed. The storm was rough, but surely, the wind wasn't strong enough to have flung this rock like this. I informed the caller that he should wait for our tech to come out and assess the damage. I also told him that it might be a meteorite, but more than likely it was a normal rock. Either way, he should consider calling some people to find out. Apparently some folks pay good money for that sort of thing. I flagged the ticket so I could check in on it, and when the day came for a tech to roll out there, I emailed them asking to look at the rock and send me a picture. In the end, the customer had to get the city out to repair the power lines before we could help fully, but we did set out a new modem. Also, the customer gave the meteor rock to the tech claiming it was bad luck. No idea what happened after, since we usually didn't contact field techs directly, and he was contracted. Log off means power done. Standard. I'm on mobile. Recently started working software support, and this was the first time my head hit my desk since I started. Me, good afternoon user, I've just received your ticket for an add-in to Microsoft Outlook. When would be a good time for you to log off your computer? So I could remote into your computer to install the add-in. User, I can be off in about 10 minutes. Roughly 10 minutes later. User, I'm logging off now. I attempted to remote into her computer, but was unable to connect to her computer. I attempted to ping her computer with no luck either. Me, user, is your computer still on? I'm suddenly unable to connect to it. User, oh, I turned it off and just left the office. Guess we'll have to try tomorrow. Trying to salvage the situation. Me, is there anyone in the office that would be able to turn on your computer? I just need it on. User, no, everyone has left for the day. Tomorrow. Me, good morning user. When would be a good time that you could log off your computer? So I could connect and install the add-in. User, I can get off in about 30 minutes. Roughly 30 minutes later. User, okay, getting off. Me, is your machine still on? I suddenly can't connect to it again. User, I turned it off. Me, can you please turn it back on? I can't connect to your machine unless it is powered on and you are logged off. Realizing she might not know how to log off, and is just powering down her computer every day when she leaves. And since all our machines run Windows. Me, for future reference, if you need to log off, all you have to do is click the Start button, click on your username, and select Sign Out. It was a good thing I said something, since I had to get back on her computer a second time. It was like that out of the box. Not the first time I have heard that lie, sadly. Best one was, customer brings in G5 iMac, flat screen display style, white plastic, for service, and before the iMac even hit the service bench, the first words out of his mouth were, "It intus power drill to try and unscrew the case." Said rapid fire as if to make one long, convoluted word. I asked, what's the issue here? It just stopped working. I really didn't try to open the case with a drill, it came that way from the factory. I say, let me check it out, as I put down a towel and lay the iMac screen down to access the 3 captive case screws along the bottom edge. There are 3 perfect cone-shaped piles of iron filings around the captive screws. It looked like each one was a microscopic volcanic cone. Suffice to say, the screws were beyond stripped. The customer kept loudly claiming innocence, that he got it that way out of the box. I told him I'd have to check the unit in and advise him of repair status, but warned him that it was highly probable that Apple would deny warranty, as it looked like accidental damage. Tech speak for you ruined it up, idiot, and he'd be looking at a minimum of a chassis replacement and transferring his components to the new chassis, basically rebuilding it from scratch. He grabbed the machine and angrily stormed out, screaming that he'd take it up with Apple, and he would get it covered under warranty. Guess who was back next week, head downcast, sad expression. Said his wife ripped him a new one for damaging the new machine, and he'd appreciate if I could try to fix it, and yes, he understands it'll be an out-of-warranty repair, finally admitting he might have gotten a little excited about attempting to upgrade the RAM himself and might have used a cordless drill with a Phillips bit to try and open it after all. One replacement, out of warranty, chassis later, and the machine was back up and running. I may have also filled the screw heads with silicone sealant to discourage any further customer attempts to open the case. It wouldn't prevent him, but it'd be evidence he tried to get it open again. I have so many stories. There's the old Bondi iMac that had a flyback transformer failure that made the back case look like one of those flat plasma discs above a Borg alcove. There's the never-ending line of brats who think the retail displays are their personal toys, the brat who thinks goldfish crackers can be consumed nasally, and left us a bunch of snotty goldfish crackers to clean up, some rubbed into the keyboard of a brand new 17-inch MacBook Pro, the brats who kept trying to get into the service bay, with an open and running CRT display, the brat trying to help me do an analog board swap on an iMac. High voltage and greasy little fingers can be potentially bad. And the woman who called in asking us to talk her through the clock, CMOS, battery replacement on a 6100 series pizza box Power Mac. I've got the back of the monitor off and I'm poking around, but don't see where the battery goes. Actually, just recalled another one. Customer brings in a color laser writer 8500, a 130 lb color laser printer with a rotating toner carousel, and a fuser cooled with mineral oil. Generally, once these units arrive at the customer site, they are carried to the location they'll live by 4 people, and once set up, cannot be moved without an elaborate deinstall procedure, which involves manually pumping back the fuser oil into its tank, parking the carousel, and removing toners. The most common missed steps with these were customers forgetting to drain the fuser oil before transport. That stuff is slipperier than buttered Teflon ball bearings in a magnetic repulsion field. I'm sure it was the basis for propulsion gel in the Portal series, and having less than 4 people carrying the leaking printer in. No, this OE takes the cake, and 8500 that. It only didn't have the toners removed and the fuser oil wasn't drained. No, this printer was dropped off the back of a truck onto pavement. It was easier to list what wasn't broken. LCD display panel, basically, the frame was warped. And these idiots wanted an itemized repair bill and estimate, and would not listen to me when I said the unit was unrepairable. It was a total loss. Apple didn't even have the frame as an orderable replacement part. It would be cheaper to buy a new printer.